The case of John Arthur Getru. I'm an investigator with the Santa Clara County Cold Case Unit, and I'll never forget the day we closed in on John Arthur Getru, a 74-year-old homeowner in Hayward, California. It was a crisp morning when we set our plan in motion. John had no idea he was about to face a secret buried for decades. I posed as a civilian, knocking on his door with a story about accidentally hitting his car in the driveway. "Which one?" he asked, stepping outside to check. I played it off, apologizing profusely, saying it was the car parked out front and asking if we should exchange insurance details. He followed me out, embarrassed but calm, unaware that my team was waiting. As soon as he stepped into the open, we moved in. "Turn around, face the car," I said, my voice firm. He complied, confused, asking what was happening. "We'll explain soon," I assured him, checking if anyone else was home. "My wife's at work," he replied, as we patted him down and led him to a police vehicle. I told him to sit, promising we'd look after his dog. To my surprise, he chuckled, saying, "Smart way to get me out of the house." What John didn't know was that months earlier, we'd reopened a murder case from 45 years ago. DNA from the crime scene, run through a public database, had led us to him, a husband, father, and former Boy Scout leader. Now, sitting across from him in the interrogation room, I needed to uncover whether this family man was innocent or hiding something sinister. "I'm Sergeant Cortez," I began. "I need to confirm your details. Your full name is John Arthur Getru, correct?" He nodded. I asked if he'd ever been in the military. "No," he said, explaining he was born in Newark, Ohio, and moved often as a kid due to his father's military career, spending his teen years in West Germany on a U.S. base. Then I pressed further. "You said you've never been arrested, but I found something about an incident in Germany. Can you tell me about it?" His face shifted. "I was arrested there," he admitted. "They accused me of murder, a chaplain's daughter." He claimed he didn't know 15-year-old Margaret Williams, a girl who attended a dance at an American youth club in 1963, when John was 18. She was found the next day on a baseball diamond, assaulted and strangled. John said someone saw him walking in her direction, which led to his arrest. He maintained his innocence but was convicted, serving 6 years of a 10-year sentence in a German juvenile prison before being released and returning to the U.S. Back in California, another accusation surfaced in 1975. There was a claim of sexual assault from the Palo Alto Police Department. I said, "What happened there?" John shrugged it off. "Nothing. I was accused, interviewed, and that was it." But records told a different story. A teenager claimed he assaulted and strangled her, threatening her life. He served just 30 days on weekends after a 6-month sentence, with 5 months suspended. Now, I turn to the heart of my investigation. "Are you familiar with the Stanford Hills, near Page Mill Road?" I asked. He admitted to hiking there as a scout leader but denied visiting the specific area I mentioned. I told him about Leslie Marie Perlov, a 21-year-old Stanford graduate found strangled in the Stanford Dish hiking area in 1973, her floral scarf used as a ligature. DNA under her fingernails pointed to John, who worked nearby as a security guard at the time. I showed him her picture. "Ever seen her?" I asked. "No," he said, shaking his head. "She wasn't a girlfriend?" I pressed. "No," he insisted, though he oddly remarked she looked like a Stanford graduate. Despite me not mentioning that detail, I pushed harder. "Leslie was murdered, strangled. Would you ever think of doing something like that?" He denied it. "What about sexual assault? Did you ever fantasize about it when you were younger?" He leaned on his record, saying it might seem that way, but he had no reason to act on such thoughts. "If your DNA was on her, how would it get there?" I asked. He claimed he had no idea, insisting he wasn't involved. But then John slipped. Talking about DNA transfer, semen or saliva, he said, he mentioned 2 young women. I hadn't mentioned a second victim. What 2 women? I asked. He backtracked, saying he thought I meant 2 girls in different places. I pressed further, and he mentioned the one up on the hill, unaware that another woman, 21-year-old Janet Taylor, was found assaulted and strangled in the same Stanford Dish area in 1974, a year after Leslie. Your DNA is on Leslie, I told him. I'm not trying to figure out who did it. I know it's you. I want to know why. He denied everything, but another investigator joined me, increasing the pressure. It's not an accident your DNA is there, we said. The type and location of the DNA leave no other explanation. You did this. John wavered, admitting he knew this day might come but still denying guilt. When we asked why he referenced 2 girls, he claimed he misunderstood, saying they might have been killed hours or days apart. His details were too specific, too incriminating. In a final push, we confronted him with the pattern. A girl dead in Germany, another here with his DNA at the scene. What are the chances? I asked. He called it a brick wall, refusing to say more. I want a lawyer, he finally said, ending the interrogation. Justice caught up with John Arthur Getru, arrested and booked into Santa Clara County Jail with a $10 million bond. He faced the consequences of his past. In January 2019, DNA from Janet Taylor's underwear matched his. In September 2021, a jury convicted him of first-degree murder with great bodily injury for Janet's death, sentencing him to 7 years to life. In January 2023, he pleaded guilty to Leslie's murder, receiving a second consecutive life sentence. John died of natural causes on September 22, 2023, at 79. His DNA remains in the state database, still being compared to unsolved cases, ensuring his legacy of violence faces ongoing scrutiny.